And that lineup will face Jamie Moyer, a 16-game winner this year. And John, a guy who's not known as the ace, but he's been the savior of this Philadelphia rotation this season.
He has. He's had a great year. Brewers have had some success against him hitting. In his last 17 starts, he's only given up more than 3 runs twice. His scouting report, as we talked about, expect the unexpected. He is a big-time thinking man's pitcher. He almost knows what he's going to do 5 pitches from now, and no 2 pitches be the same.
Mike Cameron leads off for the Brewers, ready to swing the bats in front of their home crowd. As we mentioned in the open, the Brewers had a lot of success at Miller Park this year. They won 49 games in this ballpark, 49-32, and it was only the Cubs who had a better record in the National League at home. And the Brewers won 5 of their last 6 home games to get themselves into this postseason.
Joe, I'd ask you as a hitter, if you're facing a guy like Jamie Moyer, I mean, obviously patience, what would be your approach if you were the Brewers today?
I'd try to take something away from him, John. I'd either move up on the plate or I'd move up in the box forward, just so that he is. And there's a rare 4-pitch walk from him to start things. That's a great start for Milwaukee, and a little patience from Mike Cameron.
Lead runner on for the Brewers, and here's Bill Hall. And the Brewers are certainly up there with a patient approach. Might have had the old Little League take till you get a strike approach.
And they might, but I can tell you, if you're a Brewer fan, one thing that might lead to success is Jamie Moyer pitches a lot, doesn't have to be strong. He's got probably 7 days rest. Might take him just a little bit of a while to feel. He's not worried about overpowering. He's not probably going to break 85. And so the approach is going to be very important today against him, making him change his pre-game script, if you will, on how he's attacking the lineup.
Ball and no strikes on Bill Hall. 5 straight balls delivered by Jamie Moyer. Mike Cameron open with a walk. The Brewers have not been a very patient ball club at the plate all season, nor have they been in the first 2 games of this division series. And Hall takes a big cut, swinging away, and Moyer threw him a changeup. Dale Swaim talks about Jamie Moyer as a guy who throws under the bat speed. He is under the radar with his velocity.
He will frustrate you and frustrate you to no end. And as Joe said, if you don't make some adjustments, move up in the box. Some guys can't do it, Joe, but there's guys talented enough that they can make that adjustment of that change, and that would help them a little bit.
It's something you got to approach even in batting practice, John. You got to think about what you're going to do during the game and maybe take it with you into the cage in BP. But even 1-0, he hadn't thrown a strike yet, and he throws a 75-mile-an-hour changeup, and Hall swinging at it. That's the way he's going to pitch all night long.
Moyer backdoors a breaking ball to get ahead of the count. A ball and 2 strikes to Bill Hall, making his 2nd postseason start, and Hall lays off the changeup away.
He has the bend but don't break. He'll give up some hits. The Brewers got some hits against him last time, but not a lot of runs. And as you see, pitches just missing. Tonight's strike zone is going to be huge to determine, do the Brewers hitters shrink it for Jamie Moyer, or does Jamie Moyer expand the strike zone and make it tougher on the hitters?
Well, the home plate umpire tonight will certainly be in a key role. Brian Runge calling balls and strikes, and every umpire has his own zone. You know, some umpires are pitchers umpires, some are more hitters umpires.
The day of Quest Tech has changed that a little bit. More umpires have to deal with this system that they're graded on, and it's brought it more towards a universal strike zone than in the day where you knew what each guy's strike zone was.
Hall lays off. That is 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Brewer third baseman.
A lot of these guys in the Brewer lineup tonight have good numbers against Jamie Moyer. It may not translate into a lot of victories against him. He's 9-5 lifetime against him. But Bill Hall, for example, 5 for 8 against Jamie Moyer. That goes to your bend but not break comment, John.
It'll be interesting to see how long Mike can wait if he is running with that hang move. See if they can get something moving here in the 1st inning.
Cameron stays put. Hall fouls it away.
Cameron 17 out of 22 in stolen bases this year. And Dale Swaim addressed that hang move, as you called it, John, where Moyer's very methodical as he lifts his leg up out of the stretch before he makes a decision to go to first or home. borders on a balk by pausing there, but it's hard to steal. It's hard to hit and run. It's hard to get a good jump against Jamie Moyer.
A 4-pitch walk to start to Cameron. Bill Hall has worked the count full. Moyer has already thrown 10 pitches. Still against the second batter of the inning with Braun on deck, and Hall fouls another one away.
People at home probably wondering, why doesn't every left-hander do that? Well, Jamie doesn't throw very hard, so he can wait longer. He relies on a lot of movement and change of speed, so he can almost hang. Runners that may give him problem are the ones that have what we call a one-way lead, aren't thinking about going, but are trying to bait him into throwing more balls over to first and mess with his delivery as he goes to home.
You definitely have a hard time reading it when you're at first base, trying to figure out if he's going to go ahead and step to first or go to the plate.
Hall looking for his first hit of the postseason. And he hammers one to the left. That one is hooking, and it is foul. Got out ahead of one. Count remains at 3-2. Good battle going on early between Bill Hall and Jamie Moyer. Hall part of that third base platoon for Dale Swaim. He and Craig Counsell share the duties at third base. And Bill Hall making his second start as the Brewers face their second left-handed opponent. Cole Hamels started the opener, and now it's Moyer here in game 3. And that one's inside, ball 4. So the Brewers coming out of their shell a little bit. The patient Brewers with 2 walks to start.
You're watching here how the catcher gives signs. You notice there's no fingers determining what pitch Jamie is to throw. He's going to give him a series of locations and touches, and this is going to determine, that's their code, so that the runner at second doesn't not only steal location but the pitch that's coming to the hitter. If you're a hitter facing Jamie Moyer, the biggest key you could have is, where is that pitch, in or out? Because the speed's irrelevant. You're going to sit back and look for it. So they've developed a neat way where no signs, no traditional 1-2-3 wiggle. And what's going to be interesting to see is the Milwaukee runners on second, how long they look at it, if they can figure a way to maybe send a signal to the hitter. And Jamie's been doing this for years, and we'll show you later on how he decides to change his signs if he doesn't like it.
That one gets away from Ruiz, and both runners will advance. A wild pitch and an un-Jamie Moyer-like beginning to this one for the Phillies. 2 walks and a wild pitch has 2 Brewers in scoring position with nobody out.
Breaking ball that went off the plate. Skipped off home plate. Maybe the back point of it. And a big carom off of Ruiz.
Rich Doobie, the Philly pitching coach, to settle down Jamie Moyer.
I can promise you he won't be rattled at 45 years old. He's been through a lot of these games, so it's more or less getting the comfortable mechanics back to where he's just missing, throwing some balls out uncharacteristically. But I believe Braun has had some success against him in the department of, well, he's been their hottest hitter, as he's got almost all their hits this postseason.
He's also 3 for 6 against Moyer in his career. By the way, since they got him from Seattle, looking at that graphic, he's gone 35 and 21 for the Phillies.
Second and third, nobody out, and Braun takes a strike. Well, we were talking to Charlie Manuel about when he started to see this rise in the Philadelphia Phillies, when he saw something special, and he credits that moment in 06 when the Phillies got back into the race. They were trying to chase down the Dodgers or the Padres in 06, and they acquired Jamie Moyer late from the Mariners once they had already traded away Bobby Abreu.
That is going to be the pitch, Brian, that gives Jamie success. It doesn't look, it's not aggressive on TV. It looks like it floats in there, but it's on the inner half. The hitter's looking for something different, and it catches him off guard. Now he's at his count, and he can play a little bit with the hitter.
1-2 pitch. And Braun stays alive. He waited on it as long as he could and barely got a piece.
Well, going back to that pitch too, John, I think hitters tend to give up on it. It's got such good backup motion on it, some tailing motion to it where it comes back and catches the corner, that now when you get in the pitcher's count 1 and 2, you can't afford to give up on a pitch. Mentally, you're thinking, okay, I gave up on one, I can't give up on another, and I got to swing at just about everything.
And people don't understand the pitch variance. That one was 67, 66 miles an hour. It'll be slower, I'm sure. And the variance is what keeps the hitter from being locked into swing.
Back-to-back walks, a wild pitch has the Brewers with 2 in scoring position for Braun, a National League All-Star starter this year. Braun was the Rookie of the Year in the National League last year. He narrowly beat out Troy Tulowitzki of the Rockies.
Boy, everybody on their feet here, huh? Fired up about this first inning.
Now, if you're Jamie, I know the Brewers have been struggling to score runs. In a perfect world, a base hit to right field would get the runner over to third and the runner in. He probably wants a ground ball to the left side of the infield. At worst, 1 runner, and the runner stays at second base. So let's see how this at bat, as he's given these signs that we talked about, will play out.
19th pitch of the inning, still nobody out. And Braun spoils another one.
And if he's thinking along those lines, John, another thing it does, even if they concede the run, that freezes Hall at second base, leaves first base open. They could put Fielder on, set up another force play, and hope to get a ground ball from Hardy, but they wouldn't have to pitch to Fielder.
But contact is essential to get the Brewers on the board and get this crowd and their team feeling good again in this series.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Braun, not a guy who walks a lot. He is a free swinger, and he's in a comfortable spot in that lineup ahead of Fielder, so he sees a lot of pitches typically. Very patient here at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't see him giving in here, do you?
No.
Got a base open at first. And Braun pops it up. Worst case scenario for the Brewers as Phillies makes the play in foul territory. And the Brewers come up empty and now 1 out here in the first. Prince Fielder is hitless, 0 for 7. He struck out 3 times in this series already. And said yesterday that he needs to get it going. He pointed at himself. He said, I've been garbage.
Yeah.
And I need to turn it around at the plate. And he understands that this ball club looks to him to lead them offensively, he and Ryan Braun. And we will see how he performs in his first postseason.
What's amazing about the postseason is he's gone 0 for 7 probably, I don't know the numbers, but let's say 15 times during the course of the season. But it's magnified now. You know, in the next 10 games, he could go 7 for 21. But the problem is best of 5 is so much attention on your big guys delivering that there is a little bit more gripping of the bat, trying to do a little bit too much. And that's what makes this time so special, but at the same time so aggravating when the results aren't matched with the effort.
Fielder drives one into right. That's off the end of the bat. It'll stay in the ballpark. Tagging is Cameron. And Wert's throw goes all the way to third. The Brewers are on the board. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Prince Fielder. It's 1-0 Milwaukee here in the first.
This postseason already, all around, if you watched every game, 2-out runs have won the series, have won the games, pardon me. And this is a 2-out run that the Brewers need to get. They need to start getting runs when they're out there. It produces momentum because, as you saw, second and third, nobody out. More times out of not, 2 runs should score.
Well, J.J. Hardy batting with 2 outs with Hall at third base. And as for the Phillies, you talk about 2-out runs. The Phillies have only scored in 2 of the 16 innings when they've hit. But of their 8 runs scored, 7 of them have come with 2 outs. And that has been the big difference in this series so far.
The Brewers are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position in this series, and they were next to last in the regular season hitting with runners in scoring position, 245.
2 outs, a ball and 2 strikes on Hardy. And he takes one just off the plate. 2-2 the count. This is an early psychological swing in the bottom of the first inning, and mostly for the Brewers.
Absolutely, Brian. They've gotten on the board. Like John said, they need to get that other guy.
And Hardy lines one, base hit left field, and Hall will score. It's bobbled by Burrell. Hardy will stay at first. 2-0 Milwaukee as J.J. Hardy drives in his second run of this series. 2-0 Milwaukee. Couple of runs here in the first inning. Back-to-back walks to start the inning. Fielder with a sacrifice fly. J.J. Hardy with a 2-out single. And Corey Hart showing a lot of patience.
This is exactly what the Brewers needed.
Well, Hart was a big part of a rally killer 2 days ago when he rolled into a 1-2-3 inning ending double play in the first inning. That turned the game around for Brett Myers. I'd be shocked if Corey Hart swung at a first pitch the rest of the series.
Oh.
But that's normally his game. He likes to jump on the pitchers quickly. A first pitch ball to all 6 batters already for Jamie Moyer. And he finds the strike zone there, and it's 2-1.
I know there were no pregame speeches or meetings for the Brewers as we talked to them, but you know, 2.5 games back with 7 to play is about the same odds, I would think, as the position they're in. I know nobody's come back from the National League, but they went 6-7, made the playoffs, and now they're in the position where they can win a game and maybe feel like they got the same momentum if they can force a game 5.
Yep, and in the penultimate Sunday of the regular season, the Brewers found themselves 2.5 back, 3 in the loss column to the New York Mets in the wild card race, and then they won 6 of their last 7 games and 5 of their last 6 here at Miller Park to get in. As Moyer strikes out Corey Hart, he's out of the inning, but 2 runs score for the Brew Crew.